Hey, seventh graders, we're going to do the second part of our scientific notation, section 1.3. Today we're going to learn how to put numbers in order and to make comparisons in size. So ascending means least to greatest, and descending means greatest to least. Okay, so step one, compare exponents. The greater the exponents, the greater the scientific notation. If the exponents are equal, go to step two. So if they have the same exponent, you have to go to the second step. Only do this if the exponents are equal, the same. Compare, we call these coefficients. You might think of them just as the decimal in this case. Greater decimal equals greater scientific notation. So we're going to use these symbols, less than, greater than, or equal symbols for each pair. So the first step is to compare the scientific notation. So you don't even have to look at the other number. The bigger the number, the bigger the scientific notation. So -2 is larger than -5, so it's greater than. The next one, they are the same scientific notation, so now you've got to go to the decimal. Who's bigger, 3 or 9? 9 is larger. Okay, so ordering scientific notation, put the following numbers in order. And I actually am going to pause this really quick. I'm just going to grab a piece of paper. And I want you to understand why this actually is. So for example, this one right here, it was going to look like this. 0.1234, 235, and then this number is 0.149. You can see the bigger the more negative, the more decimal places means that it's smaller. Okay, so that's why you can just compare using decimal places. You don't have to work that all out. So we're going to put the following numbers in ascending order, so least to greatest. So first you want to start with your smallest scientific notation. So that'd be 10 to the third, but who's smaller, 7.4 or 4.53? 4.53 is the first one. So this one would be 1. We're just going to do this in order. The second one would be this guy. And the third one, this would be a very large number. So the ascending, this would be smallest, next, last one. Put the following in descending. So we're going to need to find the biggest. So we have negative exponents. Remember, smaller than negative, the actual bigger the number is. So we have -5s. Who is bigger, 2.53 or 2.45? Well, this one is bigger. So the biggest, so descending, so biggest, next biggest, and then this would be our smallest. So it goes bigger. Okay, other page. So I am gonna do one of these, and you guys are gonna do the other. So it says put in the order, put the order in descending order to the column to the far right. So descending, so that means I need the biggest one first. So who is biggest? Let's look at the exponents first. So 9 is my biggest exponent, so I'm just gonna circle these 9 so we can start sorting those. Okay, now who's my biggest number? 1.43, 4.5, 2.88. So the biggest number is 4.5. So 4.5 times 10 to the 9th. And that is Neptune. Okay, the next one, so this one's done. Next one would be the 2.8. 8 times 10 to the 9th. That one's done, and then I've got 1.43 times 10 to the 9th. That one's done. Now I'm going to go to the eighths. So I've got this one, this one, this one, this one. So I've got 4. Who's my biggest? 8, 7.9, 1.5, 2.8, 1.08. So 7.79 times 10 to the 8th. And then that one's done. Then 2.2 times 10 to the 8th. And then 1.5 is bigger. 1.08 times 10 to the 8th. And then my smallest is just this last one with just to the 7th.
You're making some videos?
Yep. So there they are in order, and then you can see, so first I did all my 9s, but the biggest one is 4.5, 2.8, 1.8. Then I have all my 8s, and I have 7.79, 2.28, 1.5, 1.08, and my last one is 10 to the 7th. So there you go. So these ones are going in ascending order. So least to greatest. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys actually, well, we'll just take a second and try those. And then I'll do them real quick and you can compare. Okay, they're a little bit harder with negatives. So make sure that the smallest one is actually the biggest negative. So let's write that down here. Smallest number, biggest negative. Because that causes that decimal to move the furthest away from the decimal point. So the biggest negative is this one. 2 times 10 to the negative 8th. Then I've got to the 7th, 1.25 times 10 to the negative 7th. Then I've got 1 times 10 to the negative 6th. Well, heck, these are practically in order. 5 times 10 to the negative 4th. And then the last one is 2.5 times 10 to the negative 3rd. We didn't have to compare any of the coefficients or the decimals because there were no matching exponents. So 8, 7, 6, 4, 3. And I know it says least to greatest, but the further the decimal point is, the smaller the number. And so if you would look at this, be 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Be really little. That's what that looks like. Make sure you don't think it's a negative number. Okay, we'll do lots of practice with these.